Hey guys, it's Leo and it's time for a weekly anime roundup. Just before I start, I just want to say that I'm not going to talk about Cutie Honey Universe. I haven't watched the second episode and I think I'm going to stop watching it from now. I'm going to leave it so that I can marathon it later. I'm not that excited to follow it weekly, so for now I'm just going to cover the other four I covered in the first video. Anyway, let's talk about Tokyo Ghoul RE. I now understand the right pronunciation of the name, and let's talk about episode 2. This episode blew me away. It was amazing, and even though I liked the first episode, this second episode for me was like, oh my god, Tokyo Ghoul is really back. So I was very happy with the way things were handled. We had Heisei, becoming a ghoul again, and I was afraid that Heisei was not actually Kaneki and he was just infused with Kaneki's organs or Kaneki's something, and he was like part Kaneki and he would retain Kaneki's memories, but it seems that I was wrong and Heisei is actually Kaneki. And so because in that first fight his memories were coming back and they had to stop him. So they're using Kaneki. The humans are using Kaneki, and they probably told him that he's a different person. And it seems that he's happy being Heisei. And I'm kind of happy for him because Kaneki suffered a lot. And it's nice that now he is in a safe place. But I really want him to go back to who he was and meet the people. And so, I was a little shocked when Nishio was reviewed to be Orochi, because I never really saw Nishio as being like this strong ghoul, and now he is one of the most dangerous ones, and I'm like, yeah, you go, boy. And I was happy for that. And it's interesting because the Quinxes, how do I say Quinx in plural? But whatever. The other Quinx, they don't seem to be very strong. They seem to be fairly weak, actually. I mean, we're in the first and second episodes and they can't do anything anymore. And so that is a plot device so that one of them can get stronger. And he was actually the leader of the Quinxes, and he now is gonna try to up his Kagune? One level of his Kagune, because now he's probably gonna become stronger. And I question myself, is he going to become less human because of that? Is he gonna lose a little bit more of his conscience because of that? And I'm just gonna say that I don't like that character. He is very annoying. I don't remember his name, but he's very annoying. He has no charisma at all, and I don't really like him. Another thing about this episode is that we have a female villain now, and she is the Nutcracker. I like that. In one side, I like the idea of a Nutcracker, terrorizing men all around Japan. But at the same time, we haven't seen like a powerful female villain in Tokyo Ghoul, and now we see one that is like focused on her sexuality. And I don't know, I like when there are some women that are focused on their sexualities, but sometimes only villains are able to be in touch with expressing their sexuality in a little bit more of an aggressive way, and that's almost always tied to villains, and I don't like that. What else? Oh, the last scene of this episode. Guys, when Kaneki or Heisei entered into RE, which is now a coffee shop, I was a little afraid because I remember what happened in the last episode of Route A, and I remembered what happened to Toka, and I was like, oh, is this it? And I didn't think Heisei would recognize her or even remember her at all, but when he did and he started crying, I was like, oh my god, this isn't happening, or this is actually happening, yes! I was so happy. And I don't know, I just want to see Heisei waking up more and more and more to what happened to him, and for him to learn about what actually made him become Heisei. And I'm curious because I don't know as well, so I really want to learn a little bit more of this story. So I'm excited. Tokyo Ghoul RE, amazing. It's becoming more and more amazing, and I think episode 3 is out, so I'm gonna go watch it right after I record this. So now let's talk about Wixoss, Lostorage Conflated Wixoss. Second episode, again, another episode of another series that blew my mind. I loved the first episode. I loved this melancholy that it transpassed. But the second episode was the one. Now I can say it's on. Now I can really say this is gonna be the best Wixoss season ever. This is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be wild. And people are joking on the internet saying that Wixoss is now bigger than the Avengers Initiative, and Chikyuu is like Iron Man because she's trying to bring every selector out there to join her cause, and that's so nice. And this episode was powerful, and it was sad. It was tragic. First of all, we had Chikyuu, going around and trying to get Ruko to join her cause, and I was like, yes. But at the same time, we learned about Chikyuu's past, and that was strong. Mayu is a real devil. We knew that already, but after seeing that, I was like, God, this is just wild. This is so intense. And this is so sad. I was sorry. I was feeling sorry for Chikyuu while I was watching it. And I thought that she was very smart because she played by Mayu's rules. And even though she played by Mayu's rules, she was able to break free from kind of Mayu's curse by playing to her own rules. That was very smart of her, and I really liked that. But it didn't end up well for her, or did it? I don't know. And I just loved this episode. I also love the selector battles. The selector battles are always gorgeous, and in this episode we had one. It was nice as well. And another thing that when I saw I almost screamed was when Ruko got home and human Tama was there. I was like, no way, no way. Tama, you're here with us. Oh my God, that was so crazy. And that was so good. That was so good. I loved it. And now I think things are gonna heat up and things are gonna start and the wheels are gonna turn. And Carnival is, she's making me very scared because Mayu, she made me scared too, but Mayu was acting like behind the scenes and her power was more of like behind the scenes, and now Carnival is not behind the scenes. She's in the front of the scene and she is out here in our world. I mean, I was like, it's not very dangerous, but now I can kind of sense that there is a lot of danger in this battle. I think that the battles this time are gonna be wild. And there are lots of people that were selected as selectors right at the start, right at the end of the episode, and I am very scared for every single person. And I'm scared for Ruko because she doesn't want to battle. She doesn't want to be involved with Wixoss anymore, but because of Tama. But I don't think she has a choice. I don't think she has a choice. And Tama, is she gonna go back to being a Ludigu? Oh my God, no, please. Well, it's obvious she will because we saw that in the opening. But anyway, Wixoss, I think we're gonna have the best Wixoss season ever. Now let's talk about Boueibu Happy Kiss. The second episode of Boueibu Happy Kiss, it focused a lot on the student council, who are kind of like the villains of this season. Again, they're like the antagonists. And I really enjoyed the fact that now we have the mascots having more of a purpose, being here and giving powers to people and turning into human forms, and I really enjoyed that. And let's just say that that scene at the start of the episode with the two mascots in their hometown, in their homeland, with that duck who is the king and the duck is their father, that is so random. That is so random, and it's so Boueibu. You know, you guys know what I mean? It's so Boueibu. I was like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? But I loved this. I loved this. Boueibu is so over the top. It has no sense at all, and I love it. And so I liked the contrast between the two mascots. I mean, one of them is very villainous. He doesn't have he doesn't really think through what he's doing, like in a more of an emotional way. He's very rational, while the other one, he's just playing along with the situation. He's just playing along. He has no idea what he has to do to become a good person so that he can become king. He has no idea, but he's just running around with his own gut, and things are going right for him. And I am a little bit in doubt of whether I like the protagonist's relationship towards life, because I don't know if that works out very well for a protagonist, because he's always sleeping, he's always, oh, I don't want to do this, and it makes the series tumble a little bit. When there was time for them to spring into action, he was like, no, I don't want to do this. And I feel like the series loses its rhythm a little bit because of his personality. I like it sometimes. I think it's funny. I think that the scene that he met the student council president, I don't remember any names, sorry. The scene that he met the student council president was very nice. It was funny. I could feel the president's anger. I could understand why he was angry, and it worked out so well together. But I don't know. I think that in the fighting scene, that fighting scene, I was expecting him to spring into action a little faster, so that we wouldn't lose much time with his dilemma of wanting to just stay. But I liked the five boys. I think that their relationships are amazing. I love their interactions. And I also liked the students' council. I liked the interactions with the five boys together with the three of the student council as well. I think they work well together. And I also like their power, their main power. For me, it works even better than the first Boueibu season. Their powers now are better, But their transformation, it bugged me a little bit, because I didn't think they would kiss the prince's hand this time. I thought that it would be just the first time they transformed so that they could win their bracelets, but it seems that it's gonna happen every single time. I don't know, I thought it was not a real part of the transformation, you know what I mean? I didn't think that kissing the hand of the prince was going to be the part of the transformation every episode, but it seems that it's gonna happen like this. And I don't know, I feel like Boueibu has this crazy over-the-top dialogue that I love, and I just adore Boueibu, and I'm gonna keep following it, even though the plot is not that serious, and there's no drama. I love it. I love it for the comedy, I love it for the nonsense, and I just love Boueibu for what it is. And I think this season, it got back this feeling from the first season that I didn't think the second season could actually follow. So this third season is getting the Boueibu soul back, and I'm loving it. And last, I want to talk about Persona 5 episode 2, and this episode was rough. Guys, this episode was rough to watch because it was downhill. It was downhill from the first episode. If we compare both of them, the second episode was so weak. I don't know. I feel like the second episode was very weak. One thing I liked about this episode was that the plot is running. The plot is running. They're not wasting any time by bringing the plot forward, and I like that they're not wasting time. The story is, evolving, and things are happening. We already met Morgana. Yuji already awakened his persona in this episode, and so things are happening. And now we learned a lot about Kamoshida Sensei. We learned about what he's doing. We learned about the palaces. We learned lots of things. And as I played the game before, as I said, I haven't finished it yet, but I have played that part. So I, for once, don't know if the explanations are enough and if people are actually understanding. But because, as I said, I have played the game, so I got the explanations from the game. And I don't know how people that haven't played the game are feeling on the explanations, but I felt like they were good. I felt the explanations were good, but the technical part of the episode was a little bad. Not a little, it was bad. And the fighting scene, it lacked so much impact. It really lacked impact. First, I liked that they actually brought personas from the actual palace to the scene, and when I saw them, I was like, oh my god, I remember you. I remember all of you. And they used magic to, to fight against them. Ryuji and Morgana, they both used their personas. I think that was nice, but the animation was hard. It was hard to watch. It didn't feel like there was impact. It didn't feel like there was dynamic. It wasn't dynamic. It didn't feel dynamic. But I don't know. I didn't like it. And then after they used their magic, they used an all-out attack. When I saw that all-out attack, I just had to breathe. I just like, what was that? That was really, really bad. And I thought, well, they're going for the game's aesthetic. They should have just brought the game's animation to the anime. They should have just brought it to the anime. That was not good at all. That was not good. That was really, really bad. That all-out animation left me like, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. But I feel like the plot is actually going forward, and I think that Persona is actually a story about people not fitting in. And I feel like the anime is doing a great job in translating this part of the plot to this story, because they're different medias and we can see things differently in the game. And now in the anime, I think they're translating it very well. And I don't know, there are lots of things to cover, there are lots of stories to cover, and I'm very curious to see what's gonna happen. And I didn't really like the opening, but I read somewhere that the openings are gonna actually debut in episode 4. I don't know why, because if they're trying to hide spoilers, the ending gave some things away, so I don't know how they're gonna deal with that. Another thing was that I also liked Haru appearing as a cameo in when she was taking care of the flowers. I liked that, but it was a still frame. They could have animated her a little bit. It was just a still frame. It was just a frame of her there smiling at the flowers. Well, if you haven't played the game, you're probably not understanding why I'm saying this. But anyway. I think that's all I wanted to say about Persona. And so if you want to talk about any of those shows, please leave a comment with your opinions on episode 2, and then we can keep on talking. I am also watching Caligula and Uma Musume. I also plan to start watching Aikatsu Friends. And so if you want to talk about any of those shows, you can leave a comment as well and we can talk about them. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye!